Okay, I believe we are live. Let me just double check that. Get my recording set up. Okay, editing some audio settings. Okay, I think we're more or less good now. So, here's what my plan is for today. I want to get this boss. We took this boss and have been working on this over... So we've been... Okay, so we've got this boss. Been slowly kind of working on it, adding it, adjusting it over the past few streams. And we need to make a handful of small modifications, basically, so that we can basically call it done. So one thing that we need to do is I need to get all of the actual boss code in. We're still missing a couple of hitboxes. Like, this should not kill me. Like, we can still walk through there. That's not going to kill me. And we need to tune a lot of the attacks. So, what do we got here? So we got Monchzilla. That's the draw function, so we don't technically need to do the draw function. What we do need to do is we need to we need to find the, is it called pre-poke or poke prep? Yeah, poke prep. That should only go for 150 frames. So 150 frames at 60 FPS is 2.5 seconds. Let's change it to 2 seconds. So that should give us a little bit. This should just speed everything up. A lot of these times are all messed up because there was a bug that meant that shoot, I should not have done that. You know, let's change the health. Because right now, anti-health is 1. It should probably be closer to 8 or something. So let's pay attention to this one. How fast? Yeah, that feels good. That one is way too long. So poke itself. Poke itself is way, way, way too long. $200. Let's change that to 90, so it's 1.5 seconds. So he'll go down there, snap the jaw, and then it should be a lot faster than that. Okay. So what I'm thinking now is I want this boss to feel a lot more alive. Right now it feels very, I mean, let's just pop into it and I can kind of show exactly what I'm talking about. Right now the boss feels very stiff. It's like it should be moving there. Now it's moving. Now it looks good. That takes way too long. But like if I hit it, it doesn't do anything. Like I want it to visibly recoil all the time. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to find where I'm actually setting ent.jx. Let's try something. I want to go to Monchzilla. I'm gonna try to add like a velocity value, and so that'll fight with the linear interpolation functions. So we'll find the actual Monchzilla. We'll say. If ent.jx is not equal nil, then ent.jx plus ent.jvx. Six, sure. Where's the chunk where we're doing this? So if I did my math correctly, when I throw the squash, it should. I mean, that's pretty good. So when I throw the squash's velocity gets. That's good. That's good. Okay. Okay, so what we're doing is when the squash intersects with the head of the boss, it will basically transfer that energy into the boss's head, and the boss's head will be kind of fighting to try and move it back to its intended zone. At least most of the time. Some... So that feels a lot better. That feels a lot better. What we need to do is we need to get the idle state is a little bit messed up. Where is idle? Move left, move right. Left idle. So I want to get these, I want to convert these over to using a lerp function, because then what that will allow me to do is okay. So that's the idle state. Okay, it's because the CXs are no longer, the CX and CY are no longer behaving as, they're no longer behaving as velocities. They're absolute position changes now. Yeah. So now it's gonna fight to keep its position. So if I do that, then it'll do that. It'll bounce. Yeah, everything's looking so much bouncier now. And all we did is we adjusted this so that it's no longer being absolutely controlled, the position of the head. The position is going to linearly interpolate to that position. And what I should do is I need to have, is it weight? Yes, it's weight. I need to do the same thing in weight. Just because I want it to be animating during the boss spawn sequence, which it should be. Yes. Yes. That one looks very static and slow. But yeah, it's bouncing. I do kind of like how that looks with the explosion there. There we go. And we got the wrench. Okay. So So I want to copy this. And I want it to be doing that even when it's nil. Even when the state is nil. That's if it does not equal nil. That's all the collision stuff. Here's if it equals nil. Just because like I don't want it to look like it's just sitting there statically until the player walks in. I want it to be animating and kind of swaying back and forth. It's still not doing it. Why is it not doing it? Let me just die real quick. Static, static, static until we start seeing that. Oh, it's because ent.jx hasn't been triggered yet, right? Where do we actually instantiate? It's in boss draw, so it's... I'm going to move that so that it's in... Because the draw function won't be called... The draw function won't be called if the entity is off screen. So we have to put that at the top of the actual entity logic function, which is different than the entity draw function. Not that it's doing what I want. I wonder, is this the ent.state equals nil? Yes, it is. I'm going to actually move this out of the loop. I'm going to set this up so it's a different, I'm going to set this up so it's a different stat. So if JX is not nil, then we do this. Then we can sort of okay, that's more movement than I want, but I do really, really, really like that. The constant motion. It's... Ooh, it's... Yes, okay. It's not the right kind of motion. I kind of want it to be smaller. Maybe we'll go with like 30. And then like 200 and 400. So we've got different periods because I know when it's idling, it's going to be trying to move into that circular pattern. But if we do this, it'll be an additive system. So it looks like it's kind of barely holding together. It looks menacing. It's... Okay, I did not think about the fact that the spikes are just entities and are therefore subject to all of the general purpose entity functions. So they can be bounced, for example, by the bounce flowers. So that's if we get an Craig, can we get an instant replay on that? So we might have to get rid of that. We might have to add that to the can't bounce. thing. But that's actually no. I want to go back and look at this a little bit more. I'm pretty happy with how that is looking. Those moves might be a little too fast, actually. But you can see the procedural stem animation where it's just dynamically calculating all the math to be able to draw that stem between the two positions is still working very well, even now that it's being a lot more chaotic with its motions. And this will give that attack a little bit more interest because you can never really guarantee if it's going to be... Did I already do 8 hits? 8 hits is very quick. Okay, let me count. Let me make sure I'm not double counting. That's 1. That's 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. Kill shot. I wonder if I could make that boss death animation like increase or like accelerate. So like once it gets past a certain threshold, it like, whoosh, you know, it starts to accelerate, fills the entire screen. Yeah, I think that's pretty much good. Okay, so what do we still have to do? We still have to bring in the move left and move right function, so it'll actually sort of swap to the opposite side of the field. And we need to add hitboxes for the head. So this is just if state is nil and if head is nil. Oh wait, hold on, that's not... The player is not technically an entity. So I need to find the tri-circ collision. That is a mess of a pair of lines. But... what is boss damage actually doing? I think I can get rid of this. I don't think it's actually doing anything. But I will get my 1966 Batman text back in there. So at some point during the development of the first boss, I thought it would be very funny to have the comic book text pop up like it's the old 1960s Batman show. So when I throw this now, bang! That one missed. Why did that miss? Oh, that's why boss damage was important. It's because it's decrementing the hit count value, which probably should get moved into its own function and then called from boss damage and here, because at this point, like, this is very bespoke. Where is it? Okay. So that should get rid of the entirety of the boss damage function, because we're basically writing our own. No sense in duplicating the entire system. But we should still be able to multi-hit. There we go. Ouch. Ouch. Youch. Pow. Youch. Why is it always youch? Ouch, pow, bang, youch. I should turn this into its own function so that I can call it wherever. That might be a job for another time. I am going to put that in the to-do list, though. Okay. So now we can get back to this. And dot tries. These NK, those are getting replaced by the player. Some of these things would be a lot nicer if I were to treat the player as an actual Some of these would be a lot nicer if I were to treat the player as an entity, except that the player was decided to be its own separate data structure, like way, way, way back in the old days. I mean, that looked pretty good to me. Those spikes still need to hurt me, but that looked pretty good. That looked pretty good. Montzilla. Okay. That's basically exactly what I wanted. Okay, so now what I need is Thorn Launch? Thorn Spike. Do I do this the proper way? Or do I do this the what do I have? Oh wait, not Thorn Launch. I just need Thorn Spike. I will do it here just to simplify my life. Okay, so moment of truth. Let's see if this thing actually... Hey, okay. To index a number value. 14614. It's because in the other one, it's wrapped in another... It's wrapped in another table. It's just tables inside of tables inside of tables. Okay, come on. Okay, that should hopefully improve things at this point. Hey, there we go. Okay. I don't know what... Oh, I just kept walking forward because the camera hadn't caught up. Once I actually get the boss all programmed and everything, this portal system is going to be gone. I just... That feels... Can we make it a little bit more lenient? Wait, hold on. What's the... It's because I don't need the OX and OY. It's because it's being offset. Those don't need to be here. I could probably go back to being... I was originally 4. Let's leave it at 3. That should make the player's hitbox just a little bit smaller. You know what? Is it even worth getting out the ent.tries chunk here? Or... so none of them still have the camera offset. That's good. Get rid of those. There shouldn't be a reason. So it's operating purely on the not the directionality. It's operating purely on the lines. So it'll just generate lines between that point and that point, that point and that point, that point and that point, and then do the collision based off of that. So it shouldn't make a difference which order it's in. I'm curious. I wonder if there isn't a... This doesn't make logical sense if you're coming at it from a math background, but I think the coordinate frame of TIC80 is flipped. So sometimes I have to invert the sine functions relative. Nope, that didn't. All that pontificating for nothing. Okay, so what is the problem here? So we've got our triangle circle collision. Being called. We have... I don't know, let's just try like a 1 radius. Is it just that the... That's really, really odd. Okay. So if we optimize this so it looks like it's just a circle, we can simplify things. So we can do the x is int dot x plus 20 times this. Check dist, okay. Of course. so at what point does it start to... Why, though? Okay, you know what? Let's get rid of all this fancy stuff. Let's just int.x, int.y. See if it intersects with it. I forgot how my own function works. It's less than 2. It's always going to return true because it did not return it. I'm assuming it's just returning true. Actually, I'm not 100% sure on that. Okay. Well, I didn't die instantly, so that's a plus. Six. I guess we're not checking. Yeah. I'm too tired to be doing all this programming today. Yikes. Okay. That's something that's at least there. Like, that's at least together. So it's the back of the spikes that will hurt. Maybe... I think it would honestly feel better if I were to... I think it would feel better if I were to base it around the tip of the spine. I did kind of that final oof was good. Let's make sure I can still, yeah. That feels all right. Maybe we'll shrink that down to 4, so it's a little bit, you know, it's not like they're all super brutally painful. It would be kind of cool. I have an idea. We're gonna do a second triangle. And what we're going to do is we're gonna make it. I want the triangles to have like a red tip. That's like 5 pixels long. How do I do that for the other part, though? Do I need to add a second? Even if it looks a little bit cursed, just having the red on the tip of the spikes, I think, would go a long way to making it look. That's not what I wanted. I also didn't want it to be 13. It should be 1, 2, 3, 3 or 4. Oh, because I was re-adding entity.y to it, so it was like, okay, this might look correct now. That's getting there. Be like 7. I'm gonna try like 7. I'm just gonna like tune it by eye. I think that's the fastest way to do it. I mean, that's not what I was looking for, but it's freaking cool. Dust equals thorn launch. So this is what we got, but we've got X1, Y1 right now. I don't think this is going to do what I want it to do right away, but if it, we'll just run it, we'll see what the problem is, and then we'll solve the problem. That was not doing what I wanted it to do. So it was growing in the wrong direction, I think. That is because I need to keep X1. Let's see. You know that one needed to stay. slash 16. Yeah, I think that actually does what I want it to do. Or at least we'll see. Okay, that did not do what I wanted it to do. I think it's 11. 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes. 11 is the dark background color. Plus 2. Plus 2. Plus 2. This will just give it a little bit of a basic drop shadow. And it would have worked if I had drawn them in the correct order. Yeah, I think that's cool. Okay. Honestly, there's not that much left to do. It's mostly just add in the code for the last couple of boss. Oh my goodness, I cannot even think of words tonight. It's basically just add in the last code for the last couple of boss things. Like moving from the left side to the right side of the arena. I wanted to have a couple more attacks, like one where the boss kind of like tries to like grab you with a vine or something. And then we probably should add some sort of like base to the boss, something that kind of like slides around on the ground and makes it look like it's actually attached. But honestly, it looks pretty good right now. I'm not too unhappy with it. But yeah, honestly, I feel like that's probably where we're gonna call it for stream tonight. I mean, honestly, for about an hour, the amount of progress we got on this boss was not that bad. We got this boss. It now sort of recoils. We added hitboxes to both the spines, which I'm deliberately trying to avoid, and the head. And yeah. So I'm pretty happy with that. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you're interested, check out Thwimbly on Steam. You can wishlist it. And yeah. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Goodbye.